Imagine you're about to make a big purchase. You found the perfect item, you've got the money ready, and you're just about to click buy. But then, a dreaded message pops up, transaction fee applied. Have you ever wondered if Tide charges for transactions? Let's dive into it. Tide is a popular banking app known for its simplicity and low fees. But does that include transaction fees? It's a question that many people have, and we're here to answer it. Before we get into the specifics, let's understand what transaction fees are. Basically, they're charges imposed by banks or payment processors when you make a purchase or transfer money. These fees can vary depending on the bank, the type of transaction, and even the location. The Tide transaction fee question. So, does Tide charge for transactions? The short answer is, it depends. While Tide is generally known for its low fee structure, there are a few scenarios where you might encounter transaction fees. One such scenario is international transactions. If you're making a purchase or transfer to a foreign country, Tide may apply a fee to cover the costs associated with processing the transaction. This fee can vary depending on the country and the amount of the transaction. Another scenario where you might encounter fees is for certain types of transactions, such as cash withdrawals from ATMs. Tide may charge a fee for these withdrawals, especially if you're using an ATM that's not part of their network. However, it's important to check Tide's specific terms and conditions for the most accurate information. Tide's fee structure. While Tide may charge fees for certain transactions, it's important to note that its overall fee structure is generally lower than many traditional banks. This is one of the reasons why Tide has become so popular among people looking for a more affordable banking option. In addition to transaction fees, Tide may also charge fees for other services, such as overdrafts or foreign exchange. It's essential to review Tide's fee schedule carefully to understand all the costs associated with using their services. Comparing Tide to other banks. To give you a better idea of how Tide's fee structure compares to other banks, let's take a look at some examples. Insert examples of transaction fees charged by other banks. As you can see, Tide's fees are often significantly lower than those charged by traditional banks. This can save you a lot of money over time. Tips for minimizing fees. If you're concerned about transaction fees, there are a few things you can do to minimize them. Use Tide's ATM network. By using ATMs that are part of Tide's network, you can often avoid withdrawal fees. Avoid international transactions. If possible, try to make purchases and transfers in your local currency to avoid foreign exchange fees. Check Tide's fee schedule regularly. Tide's fee structure may change over time, so it's important to stay informed. So, does Tide charge for transactions? The answer is, it depends. While Tide is generally known for its low fee structure, there are certain scenarios where you might encounter fees. If you're looking for an affordable banking option, Tide is definitely worth considering. However, it's important to understand its fee structure and take steps to minimize costs. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.